Welcome back to your Monday show, the West Ham Fans Premier League Roundup, where we talk about every other team that isn't West Ham and nothing to do with West Ham. We've got 5 topics to talk about. Let's get into it. I'm going to do this one because based off my last video that was about West Ham is Harry Maguire. Obviously, he's linked to West Ham, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fact that he's lost his captaincy and the power shift in Man United. I'm assuming the captaincy will go to Bruno Fernandes as he was vice captain and he plays literally every game. Ten Hag has taken it off him. It's clear to see that he's not really in Ten Hag's plans. I'm sure Harry Maguire would like to stay because I'm sure Harry Maguire thinks he is good enough for Manchester United. He's obviously not. He's fifth choice centre back if you're counting Luke Shaw. And Bruno Fernandes will probably take the captaincy. Probably a good idea, to be honest, unless it's Varane, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, or Bruno Fernandes. I reckon any of them four could probably take it. I think some people that are saying Rashford, again, fair enough. Man United fans probably think Rashford could do it, but I think you're putting all too much pressure on someone like Marcus Rashford. You know, the golden English boy that comes through the academy, the one you rely on the most, and you're going to give him captaincy. Like, it's going to be used against him if he has a stinker performance. So I would advise no, in my opinion. But I'm not a Man United fan, so fair enough. But Lisandro Martinez and Varane seem like leaders at the back. Varane and Casemiro have very good experience. And Bruno Fernandes, that makes sense. He was vice captain. But yeah, apparently Maguire has many suitors, according to Sky Caver. So I don't know how reliable that is. But I'm wondering, apart from my club, who would take him. For some reason, we'd take him. I'm seeing a lot of things, by the way. I'm not going to talk about West Ham, but Maguire, McTominay, I've seen a lot of Man United fans would suit West Ham. What does that even mean? Because they're tall English guys. Like, I'm not trying to hear it. I can't lie. But we're going to move on. Let's talk about the Dele Alli interview. I should say Dele interview. I'm sorry, call it saying Dele Alli. Because I know that doesn't like being called Dele Alli anymore, so we'll say Dele. It opens up a can of worms, doesn't it, for what some footballers may be going through. It's not even the mental health side of things. There was just so much context that we didn't know from his childhood and how he grew up. I don't know how much of a dodgy area Milton Keynes is, because I'm not from there, and I don't really know people from Milton Keynes, so I don't think I've even ever been to Milton Keynes, so I don't know how much of a dodgy area Milton Keynes is, but there was a lot of context, like when he was talking about getting molested as a child. He was by his mother's friend as well. He talked about getting hung off a bridge by someone from another, I think from a local estate or something like that. He's going through rehab. And when I'm seeing these videos online, I don't think I've said anything online about Dele Alli. About Dele. But I just thought he would just. I didn't know what was going to happen to his career regardless. But something encouraging that he said is that he's got the hunger for football back. And I think that's because of his rehabilitation. And it will be interesting to see if he comes back for Everton under Sean Dyche. It would definitely be the pre-season training. And Everton don't really spend money anymore because of how much they spent in the past. So maybe they could do with a Dele Alli. Maybe Dele. But I don't know. But it was really really good of him to do that interview with Gary Neville. I thought Gary Neville, I don't really give credit to him much because I don't agree with everything he says. I don't mind him. I don't agree with everything he says. But I think Gary Neville did well as the interviewer. And I think that was done right. And it's good to see all the football support coming out. But I do think if you personally know Dele and you have his number, I'm just saying this for the people that have his number, are you doing it to online to... Do you genuinely mean it? Like, if you have his number, surely you text him, you know what I mean? Or maybe they did call him, but I don't know how genuine a lot of these footballers are with their support. But I'm just putting that out there. Speaking of football, I didn't even put this on the thing, so I guess 6 topics now. The Benjamin Mendy stuff, he has been not... is it put as not guilty? Or is it confirmed? I don't know how... Do I say proven not guilty, confirmed not guilty? I can't say proven, because but by court of law, if that's how you word it. This is not really a footballing issue. This is another issue. Let's talk hypotheticals, because we still don't know. Hypothetically, if he definitely is innocent, we can only go by what the Lords tell us. Then surely there needs to be some repercussions for the people that falsely accused Benjamin Mendy, because this doesn't help the people that are actually going through that kind of issue, and they'll be even more scared to come out. If he did do it and it was just a court thing, then that's a court problem, isn't it? Then he shouldn't play football again. But if he is hypothetically not guilty, I mean hypothetically just innocent, he's lost 2 years of his footballing career. He'll probably never come back to the Premier League. He was probably going to get moved out of Man City regardless, because his last performance was that Tottenham game where they lost 1-0, and that's when like Japhet Tanganga pocketed like Grealish and Sterling and stuff like that. He was awful that game. I don't think he was going to stay for longer. I don't think he was actually going to play much part in City's future. But he's going to have to find a club maybe in France or something, or maybe abroad. Just somewhere abroad, innit? And if he is not guilty, then I must specify if, because I'm going to be careful with my words. If he is not guilty, then he must be traumatized on the fact that he's been accused of all of these things. It must not be nice to go through something like that if you are innocent. And we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about football again. And there's been a trend with strikers as of recently. And first, we're gonna talk about the man who kisses every badge, Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku is a slag of the footballing world, kissing every badge from West Brom all the way to Inter Milan. Inter Milan do not want to pay the fee that Chelsea won, I think 40 million, which is less than half of what Chelsea actually paid for him. Or it might have been, was it 90 million or 80 million? I don't remember. But it's funny now because Juventus are in for him. If Vlahovic goes to like PSG, I think PSG won. So it's a bit of a twist there. That could all link throughout the strikers. Is it a ripple effect? I don't know what the phrase is. But PSG want Vlahovic. If Vlahovic goes to PSG, then probably Lukaku would be a target for Juventus. And it's funny. Now Inter fans are like, what? What the hell? You wanted to stay? And Lukaku's interested. Because there's a Saudi club that wants him, but I don't think he wants to go to Saudi. I think he wants to stay in Europe to play like European football. But I think Juventus are in the Conference League, if I'm not mistaken. Imagine Romelu Lukaku in the Conference League. That would be funny. I think Romelu Lukaku is a man of a very big ego. And he bigs himself up a lot. Said he was up there with the Lewandowskis, the Harry Kanes, etc. He's not. I backed him at the time when he was at Chelsea. I thought he was going to be the guy that would get them over the line for a Premier League title. But that didn't work. Chelsea have a massive curse when it comes to number 9s, and long may that continue. But Lukaku to Juventus. Even Juventus fans don't want him. Juventus fans are processing saying no to Lukaku. So That's interesting, and there's a bit of chaos in Italy. I was surprised Inter fans even wanted him back after the fact he left anyway. Inter fans, you've been absolutely played by this guy. I'm just glad he's not going to be in the Premier League because he has a good goal scoring record against West Ham. Although yeah, that's been a while since he was at Man United. He hasn't scored against us. So, but yeah, we're going to move on from Romelu Lukaku. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I think maybe not. He might not even get the move that he wants. You might just have to stick at Chelsea. Imagine that. But someone who might not be sticking at their club is Harry Kane. Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. I don't think this is going to happen. I'm going to put that out there straight away. I actually think, an unpopular opinion, I think he's going to sign a new contract because I generally think he's not that ambitious. I think he tried to go in with the Man City thing, and I think he's one of them guys that likes to want to stay in the Premier League and break his record. I think he wants to win stuff, but I don't think he wants it that much. I think he's probably regretting the fact that he didn't push harder enough to go to Manchester City in the first place. And then again, he has agreed personal terms apparently, but that even the Bayern, I think one of the higher ups in their board has come out and said that Tottenham are in Europe, we are in Europe, Harry Kane wants to be here, we need to get a fee agreed, we will get him. You need to realise who you're dealing with as Daniel Levy. One of the most is shrewd the right word? One of the most stubborn, let's say stubborn, because I know what that word means. Stubborn businessman in football. And he would rather, for his own ego, let him go on a free. Which is mad. If Kane isn't going to sign a new contract, just sell him. I mean, I want him gone now because I'm a West Ham fan. I do not want to see Harry Kane in the Premier League. I don't want to see him for Tottenham. I don't want to even see him tomorrow in a pre-season friendly. But I think Harry Kane is not the kind of guy to put a transfer request in again. I think he would be open to signing a new deal because that's the guy he might be. And Bayern need a striker because they don't usually go toe-to-toe with league titles. And when they had Lewandowski, they had someone to pass to finish the chances, but you can't keep playing with a false nine for that long and not have an efficient way of playing it because you're going to need a focal point at some point. And Harry Kane might be that. I don't know how long they're going to push this for because, put it this way, Man United aren't going to get him. They don't have Qataris. The Glazers ain't going to spend like that, although they do spend. I think they want to sell the club, so they're not going to spend that much. But yeah, I don't think Harry Kane's going to leave Tottenham, especially not this year. If he goes on a free, I rate it, but you could go anywhere. Imagine he goes Chelsea, that would be the biggest load of carnage ever. But I would preferably like him to go abroad, so I don't have to see him again. But we move. That is it for the West Ham Fans Premier League Roundup. Sorry, this was a bit more monotone and maybe slightly shorter than the normal episodes, but there hasn't really been much to talk about. And I was going to talk about another topic, but I can't be asked. So leave a like on the video, guys, if you are new. Social media is up in the description if you want to follow me on the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.